To the record, Senator Rosen.
Well, thank you, Chairman Wicker, Ranking Member Reed, for holding this hearing. My thanks to you, General Caine, for meeting with me. We had a great conversation about Nevada and for your willingness to serve. But I'm going to keep on the subject of Nevada assets and documenting exposure at classified locations. And so from your time as the Director of Special Access Programs and from your own experience serving at a data mass location, a duty station whose location and existence is classified, you're familiar with the delicate balance between protecting sensitive information and ensuring that service members' records actually reflect their service-connected injuries at those sensitive or data mass locations. And so I've heard from constituents who served at such locations like the Nevada Test and Training Range who believe they were exposed to radiation from our days of conducting explosive nuclear weapons testing and to burn pits which dispose of classified waste. However, DOD does not classify the range as a place where exposure occurred, despite the Department of Energy providing a presumption of exposure for their personnel who serve there at these exact same locations within the range. And because their service records are data masked, as you know, these veterans can't even prove to the VA that they were ever actually stationed there. And so, in fact, Nevada, there are 6 DOE-covered facilities, most of which are within the Nevada Test and Training Range, where DOE employees presumed to have been exposed to radiation. But our service members, for our service members, the VA only recognizes one, the Nevada test site, as a presumed exposure location. So one such facility that is covered for DOE but not for DOD is the Tonopah Test Range, which is both a DOE and Air Force installation. Portions of the range are still fenced off and contaminated. A 1975 environmental assessment acknowledged the contamination and the harm it would cause. But the airmen, they were never told. They do not have a presumption of exposure. As their DOE counterparts, they served alongside with due, and further adding insult to this, they can't even show that they were there. All of this have prevented them from being able to receive their well-deserved veterans benefits. And I know we talked about this. We need to make this right. And I'm committed to fixing this problem in this year's NDAA. I hope that I can count on your support to making it happen. So will you commit to working with me, of course, and the committee to find a solution that provides DOD the presumption of exposure at such data mass locations and provides those who served and are serving at these locations a way to sufficient documentation so they can submit their health-related issues without ever compromising the security of their service details?
Senator, thank you for raising this in our office call, and thank you for your leadership on this matter. I do think we owe our service members a way forward through these important jobs that they have that they can never talk about.
Yeah.
And so I do commit to staying close with you on this matter and trying to sort out a way that we can help them transition, take the credit and the risk that they've bought in the service of their nation with them into the next chapter of their lives.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I know the men and women who serve there will be very pleased if we're able to do this. It really means a lot to them. I just have about a minute left, so I want to just ask about the force of the future, because over the course of your service, you've gone through the rigors of actually training in Nevada skies while stationed at Nellis Air Force Base. Thank you. You know personally our military readiness depends on meeting immediate warfighting needs while preparing for potential conflict our country might face. It requires evolving and changing how we train to fight, which is one of the reasons I fought so hard to make sure Nevada's military training ranges are modernized, keeping pace with emerging threats. So if confirmed, how would you prioritize investments in readiness, in modernization, in force structure, so especially in these emerging domains like cyber warfare and AI?
Well, Senator, we've got to train to the realistic threat in order to ensure that we're prepared if we ever do go into conflict. Part of that is making sure that our training ranges, either live, virtual, or constructive, accurately replicate the threat so that our warfighters can train to the realistic threat. And I think we still have some work to do, both in our physical ranges and in our virtual ranges. And if confirmed, that'll be an area along the readiness line of effort that I spend some time on.
Thank you. I look forward to working with you on that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir.